Hi, this is Alistair Atkin from Atkin Guitars. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about pickguards. All of our guitars have pickguards on them, the acoustic guitars. There's a lot that goes into these. I don't think people realise quite how much work we put into finishing a pickguard. And it makes the difference between a sort of mediocre looking guitar and something that looks really special. Part of the reason for that is the material that we choose. A lot of the time we'll use a tortoiseshell celluloid. The wonderful thing about celluloid is that it really does look so classic once it's been on a guitar. You can shape it. It's got that quality. Each piece of celluloid is different, so it's unique. The smell of celluloid when you cut it is the smell of ping pong balls. Now, some people have sort of commented on that sort of thing when they've been cutting celluloid, and that's when you know it's real celluloid. So we tend to use 2 or 3 types, but so we've got a tortoiseshell and we've also got a fire stripe. The fire stripe we use on our 43 models and our 47s and most of our slope shoulder model guitars. So we start off by laser cutting the shape of the pickguard. We do that because we make so many of them. Now, lots of people at home won't have a laser cutter, but you can easily cut this stuff out with a scalpel if you've got a template that you make up out of MDF or Perspex. If you're advanced, you can make yourself a little router bed or table cutter so you can follow it, but you'll get your shape there. So for some people, that's where they stop. And they'll stick that straight on the guitar, which you'll see on so many guitars in guitar shops. A lot of the time, people don't notice the difference between this and what we do. And it's only when you start looking closely, you see the beauty of what we do. As with all things in our world, they're small details, but they make all the difference. And it's that last 10% that lifts a guitar up into another echelon. That's a word that Tom Balconi, who works for us here, that's your word, isn't it, Tom? Echelon. Yeah, so Tom invented the word echelon. And
upper echelon.
That's another.
This one we just finished earlier.
We'll look at that in a bit. Thank you very much. Right, yes. Yeah, that's Tom. It starts here. We've cut this out on the laser cutter, and the next thing we're going to do for each shape we have. Do you want to come in and sort of look at that? For each shape that we have this MDF caul that we can place the pickguard on. And that means that we can get right to the edge of the pickguard and we can start beveling the edge. Now, I use a cabinet scraper for that. And so what I'm going to do is just take off that edge, and I'm putting like a 45-degree angle on that, which means from a straight cut, we're going to go to something more like that. And what I'm not trying to do is touch the top of this guitar, of this pickguard. I'm just going around the outside. So I don't know if you can see that in there, Raf, but you can see I'm just taking that edge off. And I'm going to rotate it round, and then I'm going to keep working. I'm now in the sound hole, and this little bit here, that was quite sharp before, so I'm just taking that edge off as well. And when you're doing sort of vintage style instruments like we make, having those little edges rounded off makes quite a difference. So I'll work into that part there. I'm going to rotate it round here, and now I've gotten right round the outside of that with the scraper. The next thing I'm going to do is use some 600 wet and dry, but I'm going to use it dry. And I'm just going to go round the edge. I'm starting to sort of polish it, but burnish it up, and just smooth out where this scraper may have left some sort of little marks. Trying not to touch the top at this point. So you can see there, I've touched the top a little bit and I've scuffed that, but we're going to get that again in a minute on the next process. Until I've gone all the way around the pickguard. Now, these pickguards are also available on our website. it's actually, weirdly, it's hard to find really nice handmade pickguards anywhere. You can buy stuff that's been cut out on lasers or stamped out, but it doesn't have the quality that this has. Okay. Hear Tom playing in the background there. What sort of guitar is that, Tom? D37 pre-war. Nice. Yeah, go on, give us a little soundtrack. Okay. So, there's Tom. So, at this point here, I've now gone all the way around the outside with the scraper and now the sandpaper. So the next process is to go into the sanding room and to do the final part before we take it to the polishing room. Thank you very much, Thomas. So now we're in the sanding room. It's just been drawn to my attention that I'm beginning to look like Wolverine and that I need to go and get a haircut. So I'll probably go and do that, see my mate Eldu, and get a nice haircut. So next time you see me, hopefully I'll look a little bit more kempt. But anyway, this is an orbital sander on a very low speed. It's got 800 grit on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm lightly going to work round this, just the front of this at this point, just to take out any little scratches. And I'm working away from that because I don't want it to get snagged and pulled up. Okay, so that's the 800, really quick. The next thing I've got is this 1000 pad. So that's a Mercer product and it's about 6mm thick, but it's spongy. So it means that it will take the contours of the pickguard, so that beveling we did, it will even that, sort of roll the beveling a little bit more. Essentially what we're starting to do is polish this pickguard, but we're taking out some of those edges. Any type of polishing or sanding is really taking a level of scratches out and putting a finer level of scratches into it. And the idea is that the higher you go up in the grits, that the previous level is removed. So therefore you're starting to, you know, fine polish it. So 1000 is where we're going to go next. And I'm rolling the edges here as well. So I'm going over the pickguard. And that is all we're going to do now with the sanders, and we're going to go to the polishing room next and we'll give it its final polish. So yeah, let's go down to the buffing wheel. Right, so this is our polishing room. We've got these swansdown polishing moths, swansdown polishing cloths, and we can polish moths, really hard though. So we're going to use this ultra fine compound, which is a wax. Although we have this, you can fit something onto your orbital sander if you have one of those. So, but this is a mega machine and we polish all of our guitars on here. The other thing that I use, or that we use, is a board to polish off, because you don't want to polish like that because it will throw it out of your hands. And this way it just drags onto the board rather than pulling the pickguard out of your hands. So if I show you, so I'm starting to go, that's starting to get a nice sort of uniform bevel on it as well. So I'm taking out all those scratches that I made on the orbital sander. And I'm leaning in quite heavy on that actually. Okay, that's getting quite close in most of the parts. Okay, you can see that's looking really pretty good on those edges. Tiny bit more to do. You can feel the static now. It's kind of not going anywhere. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is clean the cloth and get the polish off the cloth, and then just give it a one light bit there. And just clean up the pickguard. Make sure there's no polish left on it. It's not a huge amount of work. It doesn't take hours, but it takes some precision, and it takes knowing what you're trying to achieve. You could do that actually to any pickguard that you bought off the shelf. You know, you could go and buy one of the cheap pickguards and polish it up like that and bevel it, and it's going to look instantly better than it did when it came out of the shop. Yeah, that's I think a nice little thing for you to maybe try at home. You can also buy these on our website. All of our shapes are available. And if you've got anything that you want to have made, with a bit of time, we can usually do that as well. Right, so we're back with Tom now. Tom puts all the pickguards on the guitars. There's quite an art to that. You don't want to put one of these in the wrong place. And Tom does this, you know, what do you do, 12 a week? 12 a week. So his eye's in all the time.
Enough practice now.
Yeah. So basically it's been cleaned up, it's polished, and it's ready to put onto the guitar. On our guitars, we fit them round the rosette. We fit the pickguard round the rosette, so it sits perfectly in the right place. So yeah, so if you stick that on, Tom, don't balls it up.
I've got a bit of tape here just to let us know where it wants to go.
Yeah.
Delicately, really, it's all about.
So we've got a fine double-sided sticky tape on there.
Yeah.
And then if you get in, and he's just gonna stick that in place. And that's, he's got it right in the right place.
Move the tape carefully, burnish it down, make sure it's going to stay down. It always does stay down. And there you go, pickguard.
Beautiful. So there you go. There's one of our pickguards on the guitar, 5-stripe, J43 style. If you want to try it at home, you can. But you can also get one from us. But there you go. There's quite a lot of work in that, and it's something that I think really makes quite a difference. It kind of looks like the guard is a droplet of water sitting on glass when you see the rolling of the edge. So, and it picks up the light really nicely. So there you go. If you enjoyed the video, please follow us, like and subscribe. Enjoy the content. There's other instructional videos on our website, as well as lots of playing videos and how to do stuff. If there's anything you want to see, please let us know and we'll try and do a video for you. Thanks for watching.